What's up, guys, and welcome back to Dota Regions. Best of two between Not Today and the House of Down, currently standing 1-0 in favor of Not Today as they took last game. It was a pretty wonky game in general, but hey, it was a win for Not Today, and that's kind of what we predicted. House is Down running a super aggressive lineup that kind of stalled out and ultimately didn't get exactly where they wanted to get. As for who's going to be presenting this game, this is on HeflaTV 2. And I'm going to be one of your casters. I'm Mike Loris, and I'm joined still by Grandis V.
Yeah, in that game number one, Not Today, I think the story of that game for them was that the Morphling just wasn't controlled at all. By the Houses Down, they had nothing to reliably keep him in place. Defting Blast is okay, I suppose, to disarm him, but even then, it just didn't do anything. They needed to consistently get hexes off onto him, and they weren't able to do so. At the end of that game, the Morphling, he was just playing with the Houses Down. He could go anywhere he wanted to on that map. He could dive their base. He could do whatever he wanted. And I don't know, there was just nothing they could do to punish him. Ewo, a really great performance by him. Again, we're going to see first ban Meepo. It breaks my heart, but the Houses Down are not going to have that available to them. Razor, Death Prophet, Lycanthrope, pretty standard bans. Death Prophet was seen last game, but we're not going to have the that hero available. Brewmaster, as well as Faceless Void, Skywrath Mage are still available in the pool after the first pick Shadow Shaman from the Houses Down.
Well, we've seen Not Today being on the second pick side before, and the first time they went for a Brewmaster plus a Centaur. And against a Shadow Shaman, I don't really see a huge reason why they wouldn't want to do that again. Especially not the Brewmaster. Smash does play a mean one, and hey, look at that. We have Brewmaster being picked up for Not Today. Who could have seen that one coming? They are going to have that hero and most likely going to be taking another tanky, aggressive hero, as Not Today do tend to favor that type of team composition. The House is Down after the last game. I'm inclined to think they do as well, so it might be another high action game. Whether or not there's going to be high kills, that's it's going to be determined later. But Not Today starting off very strong with the Brewmaster, and the House is Down picking up support first. I don't know how I feel about picking up a support first in general, but Shadow Shaman is a really good one, and Centaur Warrunner is going to be the secondary pick from Not Today, so they're pretty much getting exactly what they want.
Bread and butter for Not Today. I've seen them use this opener many a time when they get the second pick, and they have those two heroes available to them. Yeah, Shadow Shaman, I'm not a huge fan of him first pick, but if you're going to first pick of support, Shadow Shaman's the one to do it. He fits into pretty much every lineup imaginable. His biggest weakness is they can't get in range for Shackles early on, but that's easily remedied if you have any other form of long-range setup. Fissure from Earthshaker, Concussive Shot from Skywrath Mage, and even something along the lines of Telekinesis from Rubik. Yeah, I'm not sure there's a great reason not to pick up Shadow Shaman, but then again, maybe they would have liked the Brewmaster for themselves instead. Either team could go in pretty much any direction with these first couple of picks that they have for themselves. The Houses Down are probably more inclined to go towards the pushing lineup, but then again, they have to counteract this aggression coming up from Not Today. One of the best ways to deal with the pushing lineup is just to take the fight to them and force them to use their pushing ultimates or their summons away from your towers, and in that way keeping them safe. Even if you trade evenly, it's still a win for you if your towers aren't falling.
They could do that, or they could just go for a Tidehunter. Get the lanes up first. Tidehunter versus most likely a Centaur is going to be a pretty easily one lane for the Houses Down, as Centaur is going to struggle up against that Tidehunter quite a bit. And there are worse lanes for Centaur for sure, but Tidehunter's going to have that one pretty much in lockdown. And, well, Faceless Void still in the pool, probably more of a pick for the Houses Down, as I would like to see Not Today ban that one. I don't really remember the exact heroes that Not Today ran after they picked up the Brewmaster Centaur Warrunner in that other set, but I'm pretty sure Tidehunter, Shadow Shaman were not part of it. Shadow Shaman might have been. I don't know, but
it was Ancient Apparitions, Sand King, and their last core was
Sniper.
Sniper, yeah, that was it.
Well, let's hope for round two, because that was a pretty sweet team comp, and nothing really huge to say no to that just yet. Not Today, with two really tanky bodies in the front lines, can go for something like a Pugna if they really want to, and just slowly deathball the Houses Down. But really, I think their lanes are going to be where Not Today are most likely going to want to focus, as, yeah, they do ban out the Viper, so they're just going to respect the lane potential from the Houses Down. You don't want to be shut down this early on with these heroes, even though Centaur Warrunner in that last set was pretty much useless, as he was shut down very hard. Not Today, they got all their act together because they, trudged through the harsh laning stage, and well, this game, we'll see if they could do the same. It looks like they're going to be slightly behind in the lanes, although with only 2 picks, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it really is. As far as the next ban for Not Today, I'm expecting the Faceless Void ban out from them. Scarlet Mage is still in the pool, however, and they might be more scared of that hero. Is Shadow Shaman and Scarlet Mage, that's pretty much the premier supporting duo. I'm not sure you can get much better than that. So yeah, I think they're just going to pick their poison. Which one do they want to ban? Doom is still available in the pool, and that could also be a solid ban from Not Today or from the Houses Down. Doom would be incredibly greedy, I would say, in the laning stage, but the Houses Down instead ban out the Lone Druid. There was also another game that we watched from Not Today that they played the Brewmaster Centaur Warner, and they had the Lone Druid on top of that as well. Brewmaster and Centaur just made all the space in the world for the Lone Druid. Even though his early laning stage went pretty poor, he was still able to get the baseline of farm that you need to be effective. And then late game, munch through those towers with the Demolish on the bear.
Alright, well, Not Today have pretty much their pick of supports. I would say Skywrath Mage is probably the best one for them. The Silence versus Tidehunter is fantastic, and it'll be a nice denial of the Shadow Shaman Skywrath combination. So they could go for that. They could go for Ancient Apparition, which they have done before, but I don't know if the House is Down are aware that Not Today went for that type of team comp. Who knows? But either way, they have pretty much their pick of pretty much anything. Enigma and Lone Druid as bans for the House is Down are rather niche and pretty specific towards the pushing slanted strategy from Not Today, which they could go for still with the Pugna pickup. That's really all they need. But instead, it's going to be Vengeful Spirit as their pickup. Huh. Well, there's no real need for it yet, but it's still a decent enough hero.
Yeah, I've also seen them pick up this Vengeful Spirit. It's a pick that thrives in the aggressive playstyle of Not Today. Usually it's really peculiar. I think the Scarlet Mage probably would have been safer, and if they wanted the Vengeful Spirit, I think they could have afforded to pick that up later. Maybe not in their last pick, but as their next support pick, because I don't think the Scarlet Mage is going to be safe. I'm going to assume that that's what the Houses Down are going to snag up here. The Vengeful Spirit makes the Faceless Void a little bit less attractive, as defensive swaps are going to be there to bail out whoever you want to, and yeah, if you can save the Brewmaster so you can get it split off while they're trying to focus down the Chronosphere, that could be pretty huge. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything necessarily about Vengeful Spirit that's forcing this pick early. But yeah, as you said, it's a solid enough hero, especially on the dire side with the minus armor on Roshan. It's pretty solid.
The House is Down. They could go for another really tanky hero in the Doombringer. It would not be a terrible hero by any means. Getting a nice silence for the Brewmaster on top of the Hex is a couple of great tools, and it'll force Brewmaster to just split as opposed to clap split, which is really what Brewmaster wants to be doing 100% of the time, but they're going to go for a Clockwork rather. Guess they just really want their initiation. This is going to mean the lanes are going to be a little bit wonky. I bet the House is Down are expecting a Brewmaster mid, and they're going to put the Tidehunter there to meet him. Although we did see how this played out in the last set. Not Today, they picked up a Sniper, and they countered that, but a Chen from Not Today, really? This is really weird. I think Not Today, they're just definitely preparing for something super, super aggressive. A Pugna as their last would be just the best pick for them, right?
I would say so. Yeah, probably just setting up for a Pugna pick. The Clockwork is going to make Pugna's life a little bit more difficult, but honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this Clock pick. Brewmaster can split out of the cogs, although he's going to be stuck in there for a little bit while he's breaking the cogs with the Brewlings. It's still, at the very least, a way that he can get out of there. Defensive swaps from Vengeful Spirit are also going to make those initiations a little bit problematic. You can just swap the Clockwork out of the cogs. And you're awkwardly stuck with your teammate inside the cogs, but it's still enough to keep yourself safe and stop the kills from happening. Yeah, not a huge fan of this Clockwork pick, although it makes a little bit more sense with Mirana as shooting somebody inside the cogs with arrows, like shooting a fish in a barrel. It's fairly straightforward. Right now, they don't have the best setup for that Mirana arrow, unless they get the shackles off from the Shadow Shaman. I think this might be a support Tidehunter, actually, where they just throw that in the tri-lane with Shadow Shaman Mirana, gush into shackles with the arrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the first, nor it's going to be the last time we see a support Tidehunter. It's just, he does so well versus the Centaur Warner, and so much better than the Clockwork versus that hero. So it's like, do they want a stronger support in the Tidehunter, or do they want to have better lanes against Not Today? That's really the toss-up here for the Houses Down, is currently they have a pretty nice combination with the Mirana, Shadow Shaman, potentially Tidehunter, maybe Clockwork, but they just need one more hero, and the Puck is going to be banned out from the Houses Down. I don't really know if any mid-hero to really tie this all together. Invoker is banned out by Not Today. They banned that out fourth in the last phase. That would have been pretty nice for the Houses Down right now. as far as mid lane heroes go, I mean, they can always run the Tidehunter in the mid lane and anticipate that Brewmaster matchup, in which case Mirana, Shadow Shaman, and something like Skywrath Mage, which is still in the pool, would be a fantastic pickup for the Houses Down, and I think that would have been a pretty good comp for them. Put Clockwork on the solo lane as well. But not today. Well, they're not going to be able to pick up a Bristleback, another tanky hero that's not available for them. Well, not today. Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Oh.
Okay, I've seen this before from Not Today, and Evo went for Battle Theory, Phantom Assassin, but it didn't matter because Centaur Brewmaster pretty much already won the game at that point.
Yeah.
This is going to be very interesting.
Phantom Assassin as a hero is very interesting. She's very lackluster on her own, but when you have other things to buff up her damage, those crits can sting like nothing else. You're probably going to be running with like a Wolf Aura creep from the Chen, as well as the Vengeful Spirit Aura and minus armor. This could be very scary. I'm hoping for a more aggressive playstyle from the Phantom Assassin than what we saw the earlier time where she just kind of farmed up while the Centaur Warner and Brewmaster did work. But the pick for the House is down. Their last pick is going to be a Morphling. I'm not a fan. They have enough lockdown to keep this Morphling in check, and he's going to be forced into defensive items first. If he does get the Ethereal Blade, it's going to be very useful up against Phantom Assassin defensively and aggressively. But then again, is it enough? I don't think so. I'm not sure there's enough space-making heroes on the side of the House is down to counteract the Centaur and Brewmaster rotations, as well as the Vengeful Spirit and Chen early on. There's a lot of pressure lying on the Mirana's shoulders, especially early, and then once you get to level 6, the Tidehunter and Clock, to make things happen, because if THD just let Not Today play their game, Not Today are going to be in their comfort zone and should have a pretty easy time with it.
Well, guys, we're in game number 2. The House is down, currently down a game versus Not Today, so we'll see if they could make this victory happen. They're sending Laposa down to the bottom lane, being supported by the Mirana of Gui and the Shadow Shaman of Vestius. Looks like Jubilu is going to be soloing a lane, as is Yuka on the Clockwork and Tidehunter respectively. They are preparing for a Brewmaster 1v1 matchup with Clockwork, and really that's not the worst lane. I mean, I would say it's pretty even all around. Clockwork with the cogs always threatening the Brewmaster's mana pool, plus the Battery Assault threatening the Brewmaster's health pool, is going to be pretty much enough to balance out the threat of Thunderclap.
Yeah, I would say so. It's not as nice a lane as the Tidehunter's time would be versus the Brewmaster. But then again, Tidehunter's going to be able to get more out of this off lane than the Clockwork would, as he still has the fallback mechanism of the Ancients if things go really south. And, I don't know, just even the dagger spam as well as the threat of Vengeful Spirit Stun isn't going to phase the Tide as much as it would the Clock. Let's see. The bottom lane is going to be Rana and Shadow Shaman with the Morphling. That's pretty solid. But I guess we'll just take the rest of this pause to introduce the other team, which is on the Dire side, with Not Today playing on the Dire with Mihawk. On the Centaur Warner playing the off-lane position Smash on his mid Brewmaster. And then the safe lane Tri-lane will be Masoku on the Chen, Mystico on the Vengeful Spirit, and last but not least, Phantom Assassin, handled by Iwo.
So Phantom Assassin should probably get a fairly easy time, though Tidehunter is going to have to be zoned back pretty heavily by the VS. I don't see this Tri-lane from Not Today being able to really pressure back this Tidehunter or kill him off. If he is playing safe, then he should be fine, assuming Chen doesn't come in with like 2 Centaurs or something like that. Because really, the Vengeful Spirit, without many points, or without many levels, rather, she's not going to be doing that much damage. And with Anchor Smash, they're both going to be doing less damage. The Phantom Assassin and VS are going to be doing very, very little versus this Tide. And they can't really do anything to push him back. Whereas, meantime, on the bottom lane, if they land up an arrow with a Shackle or a Hex or something like that, then the Centaur is going to be brought down very easily. Like, they have a lot more burst damage to the Houses Down on this bottom lane than Not Today have on the top lane. So the Centaur is most likely going to be having a much more rougher game than the Tidehunter in their respective off lanes.
Yeah. Clockwork at the very least should be able to get his levels very fast, and then they'll rotate. They'll probably give that space to either Gui on the Mirana or Vestius on the Shadow Shaman once that happens, so that they'll be able to get to level 6 on the Shadow Shaman, or maybe just a little bit more farm onto Gui. Currently, Gui, they might find out Masoku is going to drop a ward and then back off. No creeps just yet. We haven't hit that time for Chen to actually get that available. Just waiting. Mirana, she does have an arrow to throw out as they posture around the 0-minute rune spawn. This could potentially be a first blood, although I doubt it will, unless we see a very long-range arrow.
Masoku has one escape route, and that's to the right, and that's pretty hard to avoid an arrow if he does run in that direction, but it looks like for now everyone's going to back off, and it will be the Not Today side to secure the rune. Misko's going to see the fact, or Yuka's going to see the fact that it's an invis rune for the VS, so nothing too surprising for either side, or no one should be surprised by this, but I expect a relatively, it's actually a fairly aggressive early stage, especially from the bottom lane if the house is down, although they're going to rotate up and put 3 heroes up on top lane. That's not what I expected. This Morphling is going to go toe-to-toe with the Centaur, and I would say Centaur has a pretty nice time against the Morphling.
Yeah, Morphling should be able to zone him out early on. No Stout Shield on the Centaur, but can't really man-fight up against him. His top might be where we see our first blood. Yuka is going to be stunned up by the Magic Missile. Now the right click's coming through. The Anchor Smash is going to reduce the damage to Phantom Assassin, but not the Vengeful Spirit. Body blocks are okay for the Phantom Assassin, but not enough. Now with the Stifling Dagger, this should be our first blood here. Arrow is going to land in Misko, however, and they won't be able to dive under the tower. Nice arrow coming out from our Mirana of Gui, and it's going to force back the Vengeful Spirit, although no return kill going their way. We'll force them to eat a lot of the restoratives.
That was kind of unfortunate that Gui was there with the arrow. That would have been a very nice kill for Not Today to have, and really you could see how much this Anchor Smash is going to have an impact on this lane. Like, once the Anchor Smash goes out, Iwo is doing pretty much no damage to the Tidehunter at all. Vengeful Spirit, fortunately for her, she didn't get clipped by it, but really, Stifling Dagger level 1 is not nearly enough to kill off a Tidehunter. They're going to need a lot more than that. So, aggression up on top side, attempt number 1 with just 2 heroes, going a lot better than I thought, but ultimately it's not going to be enough, and it will continue to not be enough. Although Gui has, he's still sticking around actually. They're going to go for bottom lane. It's Mihawk who's going to get caught in the shackles. But with no Mirana here, this is going to substantially weaken their kill potential on the Centaur. Even though it is a 2v1 lane, 2 ranged versus 1 melee, Mihawk should have a decent enough time to get experience, and Gui, I don't really think he's needed up on top lane. Yuka should be fine from here on out.
Yeah, it defended against that first blood, but now that Vengeful Spirit doesn't have an invis, and now that Tidehunter does have his level 2 boots, yeah, I think the Mirana should just be sitting down in bottom, because if the Mirana was there, it would have been a very easy kill on the Mihawk if they had the arrow follow-up, but since they didn't, it's going to not be a kill for them. Brewmaster, oh, Mirana. Oh. Gui leaped up to the high ground. He's stuck for at least 30 seconds.
Sucks to be you, Mirana. Level 2, at least she didn't get killed by the Brewmaster. That could have been worse, I think, but yeah, it's not a good place for your support Mirana to be. It's going to be Not Today feeling a little bit more comfortable around the map for quite a long time, and well, that's just more space that Iwo has to farm. That's Brewmaster that doesn't have to worry about rotations or anything like that. Mid lane is going rather evenly, although Clockwork does have a slight deny lead. It's, for the most part, just an even lane, kind of as to be expected, as Jubilu, with those cogs making it so difficult for Smash to hold any sort of mana pool available for him. And the Clockwork base damage is actually pretty high as well. I mean, Brewmaster 67 versus Clockwork 66, very minor differential there. So mid lane is going to be relatively tame, and Mirana has actually left the top lane. I like that. Go down towards the bottom lane and try to shut down Mihawk just a little bit more, because Mihawk is pretty much having the time of his life. Yuka's having a much better time, but there's nothing that Not Today can actually do about this, as Masoku is going to be going for that farming, a little bit slower, more patient Chen route. He's not going to be looking to be aggressive until he gets the 2 creeps, and then maybe even the 3 creeps.
Yep. Well, this Chen, he doesn't find himself a Wild Wing, he doesn't have any stacks. As they go up and top onto Yuka, the Anchor Smash is going to land on the Phantom Assassin, who's hitting for 20 a pop. And Yuka, I think he's going to survive, or will he? They're going to go in her tower. Never mind, it is Mystico. Going to be able to draw the first blood here, as yet again, the Vengeful Spirit not clipped by that Anchor Smash, going to make sure that they have enough damage in order to kill him off. Well, there you go, first blood drawn. It is the Vengeful Spirit. Unfortunately, as they do go down bottom, no, it's mid. It is falling with the Clockwork hitting a cogs onto the Brewmaster. It was just a follow-up arrow from Gui. And now at the bottle, Clockwork's going to be okay to sit around in lane. They don't have a salve, unfortunately, but Jublue is going to be sticking around for a little bit longer yet.
Well, it is a kill 1 for 1, and ultimately it's going to be Not Today drawing the first blood gold. Unfortunately for the House is Down, if they waited a little bit less, then they could have gotten it. But Clockwork doesn't quite yet have his hook shot. Once he has that, I expect to see much more of those rotations, or much more of that aggression coming out from him. Iwo, he is kind of low on mana, kind of low on health, but he wants to go for Yuka. I mean, this is a level 3 Vengeful Spirit. She's now putting out some serious damage with the Wave of Terror, minus armor, plus the Vengeance Aura. So Yuka is, in a fairly vulnerable position here, despite the fact that he is level 4 in this lane. He's going to hit with the Stifling Dagger, and Iwo is going to try to bait out the Anchor Smash, as is Misko, but there are a lot of Radiant creeps here. Misko is getting obliterated by these creeps. Magic Missile is there. Iwo's going to blink forward, try to kill off Yuka, doing a lot of damage. There's the Gush, Anchor Smash available. It's going to be too late. The creeps are doing still a lot of damage to Misko, but it will be another kill for the Vengeful Spirit up here on the top lane. That's going to be a very quick medallion. That's going to mean that the future kills are going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, with that minus armor at this point in the game, that is very scary. With Wave of Terror as well as the Medallion, they're going to be working with a decent amount of amplified damage, especially on this Tidehunter who, despite having a decent amount of armor at 3, it's not enough to save you, especially with only 1 in Kraken Shells. The Morphling gets killed on the Chen. Over in the jungle, I'm not sure what the Chen was actually doing there, potentially looking for a wraparound with smoke, but ended up getting caught out. This Chen, having a great time. His farm in the jungle is fairly lackluster, and now after dying once, it's not going to get any better for him.
Yeah, if this Chen isn't really farming in his own jungle passively, then you expect him to be pushing lanes aggressively. In which case, he's not doing both. He's not doing either, and he's really just not doing anything this game, I would say. This Chen pick is kind of an odd one out for not today. I mean, the idea is to get a nice quick mech up so that no one else on the team has to go for that, but if Chen's not farming, he's not going to get a mech. He only has boots, and that's rather unimpressive for a Chen at this stage. I would like to see him just chill and farm, as Jubilee is going to get split upon in the mid lane. This is a very tanky hero, the Clockwork, although with support from Misko with magic missile damage, it's going to be enough to kill him off, albeit slowly. The hookshot's going to miss, actually be completely wasted. It is going to be a kill regardless. Misko making his first rotation of the game. That's going to be the 3rd kill for the Vengeful Spirit. Swap is going to be up soon, and she's going to get pretty stacked pretty quickly.
Vengeful Spirit, a hero that, if you're behind, it's miserable to play, but when you're ahead, it's a whole heck of a lot of fun, as you're able to just roam around and get kills very effectively. A high-level Vengeful Spirit can make a lot of work happen. That said, Mirana going to bump into the Chen. Chen does have his 2 creeps, and Gui needs to be careful. This Mirana's fairly low level. She's going to leap to just join the Magic Missile and down to low ground. That was a successful leap by Gui, so he'll be just fine.
But Misko is still in the area. Doesn't have that much mana, however. Regardless, they're going to go for Yuka anyway. The minus armor plus the crit from Evo. Arrow is going to come, and it looks like Phantom Assassin will go down. Stomp is not going to be in time to save the Phantom Assassin, so that kill probably not worth it. Although, fortunately for not today, it hasn't been the Phantom Assassin to get those kills, so they don't give up a streak. If the Vengeful Spirit died, that would have been worse, but they show how much damage they can put out in this Tidehunter. Medallion plus a crit from the Phantom Assassin, that brought him down so low, so very quickly, and ordinarily, you would expect a Tidehunter to be able to withstand that kind of punishment, but with only 1 point in the Kraken Shell, no Stout Shield, no Ring of Protection or anything like that, this guy, despite his 815 HP, is rather vulnerable compared to Tidehunters usually.
Yeah, it's something that's unusual to see at this point, but yeah, with the Vengeful Spirit at the start that she's had, this Phantom Assassin is going to be pretty scary to deal with if she does get those crits. I believe that was the first one that was of any note, a couple of crits onto creeps, but yeah. Jubilee, with that level 6, hasn't made any rotations thus far. Although, now with the Tidehunter inbound, they potentially could go for the Brewmaster, although, yeah, he doesn't have any backup, it doesn't have a split. We are going to have Moonlight Shadow pop. Not sure if that was given away by anybody. It looks like they'll have vision of the Morphling with his Moonlight Shadow. Top lane is going to be just fine, but the Brewmaster is going to be playing defensively because of it. He's going to walk over to the side, sending to himself his bottle as well as TP Scroll. There's not going to be any kills because of it. The top tier 1 tower is going to fall, presumably in the favor of Not Today, with the creeps from the Chen, as well as the Hellbear Smasher to pull off the creep aggro. We do have an arrow that is going to land onto a creep, and then the back off from Not Today, blink away to Misoku. They're going to be just fine. The gosh, actually, now the hookshot into Misoku. Misoku is not going to be just fine. The Stifling Dagger going to come through on the Clockwork is not going to save him there. The Center Ultimate deployed, but they're still going to catch out too with the Ravage. No follow-up, however, and now Smash with his split. They need to be careful about diving into that. They already spent their ultimates, and now the Chen buying back, he's not going to have any gold. Not sure if that buyback was necessary at all. Leap away from Gui. She's going to get magic missiled after the fact, but no jumping from the Phantom Assassin. They can't go for that kill. The Cog's disrupting a whole lot of that coming out from the Clockwork. 4-4 our kill score, and it's going to be fairly even. No tower is going down, maybe with the exception of the one down in bottom that Leposa just picked up. Yep, there you go.
No freaking clue why Misoku bought back into this game. He didn't have enough for a TP, and Chen can literally do nothing to help out until he gets his creeps, and he doesn't have any creeps, so it seems kind of silly. It's just a lot of wasted gold for Misoku. I think he was probably really just itching for a fight there, as he was kind of blocked up a little bit, and that's why he got picked off, but regardless, Not Today. They are not going to lose that much on this top lane. They do force a lot of rotations from the houses down, but the post is still in this bottom lane. Is still farming up a Storm. He's not going to go for Hand of Minus or anything like that, but he's going to go straight for his Lincoln Sphere, which is probably going to be soaked up most of the time by Stifling Dagger, but still, it's a defensive item that Morphling is going to pretty much need in this game, as he has to worry about Vengeful Spirit, and that's really what you want to be blocking. It is going to be a tower-for-tower trade at the end of the day, but 4-4 and the house is down. They have a Morphling who is 1,000 gold ahead of the Phantom Assassin. This is looking like Not Today might be a little bit complacent on this bottom lane. Centaur is getting a decent amount, but it's definitely not enough to make it worth it. His smash does get hookshot in the mid lane. He has a split, but he's instead going to not use it and get tagged with an arrow. Hand of God is there. It's not going to buy him enough time, though. In the meantime, top lane, they do extend Misko's killing spree to 4 now as they kill off the Tidehunter yet again. It's another 1-for-1 trade, but dropping your Brewmaster is never ideal since he still doesn't have his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, this Vengeful Spirit currently out-farming the Brewmaster as well as the Centaur, not because she's farming, but because she is 4-0-1. Been involved in every single kill. Misko just having the time of her life, or his life rather, is the tier 1 tower in mid is going to fall to the Shadow Shaman. He does find himself level 6, and now after that, they're going to be at a tower advantage, although it's not the biggest lead, or if it's a lead, it's going to be very slight. In the gold graph, it's not super significant, probably going to settle at about 1,500, and experience is negligibly in the favor of Not Today. The Centaur is still saving up for his Blink Dagger, and he's not going to be very active until he has that, but they still do have the leap. We're looking for a jump in mid. They have the haste rune on the Clockwork, although he's going to be giving vision. Not everybody's just going to be running around with haste, and nothing's actually going to happen.
Although Jubilee is going to use the rest of the haste to try to go for Masoku. Cogs miss, unfortunately for him. He's still going to go for it with a hookshot battery assault. He could probably get this kill, although he will be punished because Misko's coming around for the swap out of Masoku. Then the magic missile, the damage from this Vengeful Spirit should be pretty high, but they don't have enough lockdown to keep Jubilee within their sights. There's the hookshot plus an arrow setup. Very well played by them, but now Jubilee slowed down within the range of the tower. I think Ewo is just going to clean this Clockwork up. No crits needed for that one. Easy kill. Misko doesn't have that much more mana. Unfortunately, is just short of another magic missile. Although trying to tread switch, it's not going to be enough. They're going to catch vision of Yuka regardless, though. They're going to try to force out the Ravage. The damage is going to be enough to cancel his TP, although it was certainly close, very close, as far as actually just killing him straight up. But at the end of the day, the Clockwork does dive a little bit too aggressively going for that Chen. And he does give his life for the Chen. It's not a terribly huge deal for Not Today. They're more than fine cycling out their Chen for a different hero because, again, Chen isn't that useful at this point. He's just a walking hand of God. He doesn't have an army that's really substantial. It's all in the top lane, but yeah, I don't know. This Chen just hasn't really been getting anywhere. To be fair, he has just had to deal with 3 spawns rather of Mud Golems, so that kind of sucks, but you can't just blame the jungle for that. This Chen has been rather inactive in this game.
Yeah, Rana on the side of THD is kind of mirroring that of the Not Today's Vengeful Spirit. Is 3-0-3. Rana's going to pick herself up a Hand of Midas. Not the biggest fan of this item choice, although it is going to propel her into the late game by quite a bit. And the bigger pickup on these sports is Shadow Shaman, finding himself a Blink Dagger. He hasn't been involved in very many kills, but he's farmed in the lane for a decent amount of time, as well as getting towers. But in the meantime, with the Medallion, as well as the Wave of Terror and the Drunken Haze, a fairly easy Roshan for Not Today to snag. And they're probably going to give us just a way of Ewo, and Ewo will snag that up. The Phantom Assassin build is going to be similar to the one we saw before, although the Chen picked off again, Clockwork Hookshot. His army isn't going to be cleaned up, I don't think, which is useful for the Chen. But then again, still, Chen more or less dead weight this game as far as the pick is concerned. And well in mid,
he's going to get his wards dropped on him. Arrow's going to connect as well. The split not going to be in time as Mihawk trying to kill off the Shadow Shaman. He gets it, but he also gives himself up at the same time. House is down, get 3 nice kills. They don't have Serpent Wards, but that's fine. Killing is all they want to do right now.
More or less. And the Morphling quietly farming away almost at his Lincoln Spirit, sub 15 minutes in. A great timing for him. 1 kill towards his name. No deaths, no assists, but that's perfectly fine when you're farming as fast as he is. At the top of the last hit chart by quite a large margin, sitting about 20 ahead of the Phantom Assassin. Now just going to be quietly pushing into this tier 1 tower. Morphling having a fine game for himself. It's not going to be until he gets his Ethereal Blade that he really comes online, but he's still going to be pretty survivable. And also with the backup of the Tidehunter Clockwork, maybe he'll be able to find a kill if somebody shows their face up in this lane. For now, nobody is, and they're all grouped up down towards bottom.
Should be a tower destruction going the way of the houses down, which is going to be mirrored by Not Today. They're bringing all of their heroes down bottom, in fact. No one from the houses down is here, but they do have a Ravage available, so if they really wanted to fight, they could probably get away with it, especially since Tidehunter has enough gold to pick up his Blink Dagger, which he does. This bottom lane is going to take a lot of hurt, so there's no response from the houses down. They could very well try to defend this. Like, I think that won't be unreasonable of them to do. But with Morphling farming so happily away, then there's no reason to go into a fight when you're dealing with a split that has no guarantees of being locked down. So they're going to take the tower, and with these Chen creeps, they may even look to go for a little bit more. They're all pretty healthy, and they're all pretty full on mana. They're going to make a tier 2 for tier 2 tower trade, potentially. Vestius almost has his Serpent Wards back up, but no, they're going to teleport back. Enough is enough. They're going to try to defend, and, well, they're going to be walking into a Clockwork and a Tidehunter. Mihawk off to the side is going to try to go for Vestius. He will miss the stomp as Jubilu does get initiation onto Smash. Ravage is there as well. Kind of God, and no split for him as the post does wait for him in to kill the Brewmaster. No one else is going to TP in. Mihawk is going to get away, but Smash has not had a good Brewmaster game today, or this game at least. As they do take the tier 2 tower on bottom, it will be a 1-for-1 tower trade. But losing the Brewmaster, and again, that's like the third time in a row where a split was been denied, but wow, not today. They're just going for it on bottom lane. They're going to try to force back the houses down, else they lose a tier 3 tower. Here comes the Morphling. Got to worry about Magic Missile as well as a lot of damage from these heroes, but Leposa should be fine. Delta split the arrow. There it is. They dodge the arrow, and it looks like everyone's going to back off. They do force the houses down to defend, but not today. They really can't afford to be losing their Brewmaster this often. That's his fourth death.
Yep, Leposa previously did that. Got a tier 2 tower up top as well, so it's actually a 2-for-1 tower trade in the favor of THD. Yeah, they force them back, but it's not enough. Maybe they'll be able to find themselves a kill on the Morphling. He does have a replicate out, however, so if he's fast on his fingers, this won't happen. Let's see if he's fast enough. There's going to be Stifling Dagger, pop the Lincolns, and then the Magic Missile is going to follow him to oblivion. Not sure if that's actually going to disjoint. It is going to stun him inside the base, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, Lincoln Sphere, too good. It gives you just enough time in order to pop the ultimate, even with Stifling Dagger to pop it, which is a very reliable way to do so. You need a faster way to initiate that.
And that's got to be like a Hex or something like that, or two people dropping their spells at the exact same time, but that's probably not going to happen, as the projectiles are fairly slow coming out from Not Today. They have gone for the Battle Fury build once again onto Ewo. He does like this build, but they're going to get a 2-man stomp plus a 2-man clap onto 2 people. That's going to be Mirana barely getting away, and Jubilu trying to get away as well, but here comes Ewo. Going to clean up one, but though he does lose the Aegis in the end, Jubilu with the Blade Mail is going to return a lot of that damage, but now they're going to chase him down. Double Edge is not going to land as Mihawk holding onto that for a little bit, but does get the kill eventually. Really nice jump in from the Mihawk this time. Him and Smash going to set up those 2-man double stomps, and it was just clean up from there on out. I think Ewo probably hit a crit with against the Blade Mail, which is not what you want to do, but he had the Aegis, so he's going to be just fine. They're going to keep on going. A pretty nice win for Not Today, actually.
Yeah. Not today. I'd really like to see him pick up a Vladimir's offering on one of their heroes. Honestly, the Chen is a decent hero to pick it up on at this point in the game. The mechanism, although it's going to be useful, it's just so delayed. Morphling knocking on the tier 3 tower is going to force them back. He doesn't have a replicate, but it does have waveform TP, and he's fine. Lincoln Sphere pop by the Brewmaster Drunken Haze. Yeah, there's your replicate. I don't think they're going to be able to clean this one up in time, and Brewmaster, in his replicate form, is going to be able to swagger away, as is the Morphling.
Well, Not Today. They get a couple pickoffs, and they take a tower now, as they are only one tower down behind the houses down, but let's take a quick look at how the gold is shaping up. It's slightly in favor of the houses down 5,000. It's a pretty nice lead, but it's definitely not insurmountable for Not Today, as they do tie up the experience. So this game is looking remarkably even, and the house is down. Their Morphling doesn't have any farm accelerants or anything like that. Mirana does, but it's only Mirana, who cares. Ewo is going to find Jubilu, and really he needs someone to Phantom Strike out to. However, he's not going to find the backup necessary. That's going to be the death of the Phantom Assassin. And if the Phantom Assassin is going to be picked off like that, then the Battle Fury is going to be 100% useless, which is kind of why we don't see this item picked up that much on PA. If she has it, it doesn't really matter, because you could still kill her very easily. They're going to go for Gui, though. He's going to leap up straight into a Test of Faith. Not where we want to go, man. Not where we want to go. It's going to be 1-for-1 in the end, but Mirana going down is not a big deal for the houses down. Smash might also go down. Blink, Hex, Shackle's available. They deployed the Serpent Wards first, and Smash is once again going to be unable to use his ultimate, as Ravage is committed for the Brewmaster kill. Man, Brewmaster hasn't used his split in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it pretty much sums it up. A lot of hate going his way. They have to commit the big ultimates for it, but you're killing the Brewmaster, and it's probably worth it. That's a Mirana kill for a Brewmaster as well as a PA. They also got some decent damage to the tier 3 tower down in bottom, as the Morphling was split pushing that. He dropped fairly low, but is able to TP away. Over at the side, the Blink Hoof Stomp from Mihawk, even if he was there, would have been too late, but misjudged where he needed to be. Morphling going to be getting closer to his Ethereal Blade, and once he has that, he'll be able to start joining the fights, but this Morphling, he's popped his face in every once in a while to steal a kill or two, but other than that, he's just been farming away, and that's perfectly fine. The rest of his team is doing enough work in order to warrant this. The Mirana, with her Midas, isn't transitioning into any big damage. I think that's going to be a 4-staff with the Staff of Wizardry, and that's okay too. I think the Morphling is enough damage in order to tide them through the game. Although eventually the Mirana will pick up some damage items of her own, just the utility for now will suffice.
Yeah, what Not Today want to do right now is probably just Fight a little bit more passively. Let this Phantom Assassin farm up her BKB, and once that happens, then Not Today are going to feel very comfortable fighting. But until that happens, the house is down. They're farming as well, and their Morphling is going to get really, really big. Tidehunter has his Blink Dagger. He pretty much can't get any huge jumps in power from here on out, and really, it's just Clockwork that's problematic for Not Today. The Clockwork's the one starting all these fights, and if he gets a fight in Phantom Assassin's face, then Phantom Assassin doesn't really have any options without the BKB, because Blade Mail is not the item you want to be looking against if you're Phantom Assassin. One crit and the Phantom Assassin dies, unfortunately for her. So, Not Today, they need more items on this Phantom Assassin, and they also want to fight with the Brewmaster and Centaur, but I don't know if they could get all of that to happen at the same time without sacrificing something big. So they're going to have to take some sort of risk, I think, and that risk is probably going to be in the Roshan pit that's going to respawn shortly.
Yeah, let's see what the actual time is. It's 30 seconds, a relatively short Roshan timer, and that'll favor Not Today, as they're very close, and if they find a pick off on the Morphling, it could be huge, or at the very least force him to waveform away. They're going to stun him up. Now the follow-up Magic Missile is going to be there, but he's waveforming through this. No, it's not going to be enough to get him enough strength to survive. The Mirana's close, but this should be a fairly easy Roshan for them to take. They don't have Ravage available. Well, they will once the Roshan actually goes down. But he's a little too far away. It looks like they're in position to try and defend this, but then again, the Clockwork and Shadowshan were pushing out top. If Not Today wanted to, they could commit to it fully, but then again, they might lose something across the map.
Well, Roshan is now up in Chen with the little skeleton warrior. The Lego warrior is going to spot that out, and instantly they go into that pit. Ewo's there with the damage, however, the Vengeful Spirit is really packing the most damage for the house's downside, given the amplification from her aura, as well as the Wave of Terror. Arrow's going to fly, and it's going to unfortunately hit an Alpha Wolf. Not a terribly huge deal, as Roshan is going to be very quickly cleaned up. But top lane, they're going to initiate onto Mihawk. 4 staffs from everyone, as Jubilu does go a little bit too deep into the base. There's a blink forward from Smash, finally gets a split off on Jubilu. This is going to be a very dead Clockwork, as they do get the Aegis, as well as that nice team fight, and they're going to go for Yuka. Ewo wants blood, and he's probably going to find it as well. Waiting for his Phantom Strike, not even going to need it. He's going to look instead for Gui, who's now going to Phantom Struck, leap away, but I don't think he can escape here. Needs to pop Moonlight Shadow. 1, 2, one more hit is going to do it. But Gui, he's trapped. There's a Sentry Ward, and there he goes. It's a nice sweep, and there might be a little bit more. No, Vestius is still in Viz. But Not Today. They take 3 kills plus Roshan. Now they're going to go for a high ground push, it looks like. Phantom Assassin with the Aegis, feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and rightfully so. It's fairly easy to kill her once, but then again, with the aggression that she can put out with this Aegis, it's really catering to the hero. She's hitting very hard with the Alpha Wolf creep. I think that died, actually, or no, he just summoned a new Centaur to replace it, which is unfortunate for the Phantom Assassin's damage output, but even with them, just the Vengeful Spirit inbound, she's hitting for quite a large margin, especially if she crits. So yeah, down mid they're going to go. Phantom Assassin does have the BKB, but jump in from Yuka. He's going to catch out 3 with a Ravage, but there's not a lot of follow-up. Swap onto the Phantom Assassin, as well as a Force Staff to get the center out of the cogs. They're going to be just fine. Ewo's still sitting awkwardly inside the cogs, and now the Morphling's here to clean up. He's going to get the kill on the Chen fairly easily. Now looking for more. Jubilu, he's man fighting up against Ewo. Ewo's fighting up against Lepoz. Lepoz is going to be gushed up, and now the follow-up from the Anchor Smash. She's tackled in the place. She's going to lose her Aegis, so she already popped the BKB, and she might be in trouble. There's a nice hoof stomp, but that's going to be the death of the Centaur as the double kill goes away with Lepoza, and now I don't think the Phantom Assassin can get out. There's Vengeful Spirit waiting, trying to allow the Blink Strike to go there, but I think they can still chase it down. Force Staff after the hacks, the Magic Missile going the way of Vestius, but Ewo is just going to be chased down from the Morphling. Blink away again. The jukes are real coming out from Ewo. We'll be able to chase her down in the end. We don't have a hook shot for quite some time for the clock. We're looking for cogs. We'll be able to find the cogs. They're going to turn the Battery Assault and potentially just give up the Vengeful Spirit, but now going to turn onto Vestius. Vestius is going to die, and now Ewo is being chased down by the Battery Assault. I think Ewo would have died either way, but no, Vengeful Spirit swap. Ewo's alive, and Vengeful Spirit's also, so the hook shot from Jubilu, it's going to miss wide towards the left. They aren't able to find him, and now the blink forward, they're going to gush up Ewo. Ewo is probably going to fall as the juke. Going to be enough. Blink Strike to the creep. Deny from the creep. No, it's not going to be enough. Anchor Smash. Tidehunter ends the killing spree from the Phantom Assassin, and now Vengeful Spirit is also going to fall. What a long chase. That was almost amazing.
That was so close to Dota Cinema worthy. Like,
it was.
The Force Staff up to the high ground and then the swap out, that was just poetry, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Phantom Assassin got chased down by one too many gushes. Tidehunter had just enough mana for that, and unfortunately, that's going to be the death of the Phantom Assassin plus VS, as Mihawk is going to get almost shotgunned completely down in the mid lane. His Hood keeping him safe from a lot of that damage, but I don't know if he's actually going to escape. This Centaur is going to stampede out. Really, I don't know why Not took that fight. They sent the Brewmaster back and then the fight started, that should have been a pretty clear indication once they sent the Centaur back that, hey, we probably can't get away with this, though they tried anyway. Now Masoku's going to get chased down by a Morphling. Morphling doesn't have another Ethereal Blade in 5 seconds, but it looks like Masoku will actually survive. Oh man, that was an awkward fight to say the least. It was pretty much Phantom Assassin trying to get her hands onto whoever she could find, but unable to actually catch up to anyone. And then everyone was trying to help her, thinking about it, and ultimately they didn't do it, as Mihawk does get initiated upon over in mid. The blink clap is actually going to be delayed. For some reason he didn't blink. Mihawk does get swapped out, and now they're going to go for Vestius. Jubilu's going to force staff his way forward. Go for Mihawk, who's still alive. Hand of God pops out. The Shadow Shaman's the only one to go down, but here's the crits from the Phantom Assassin. Going to go for the Clockwork, trying to TP out. It's not going to be enough. That's 2 kills for Smash, and it looks like everyone from the House is Down is going to drop. The split has already been used, as well as the Hand of God, but for 2 kills, perfectly worth it. Now they're going to go for round 2 down the mid lane. Last time they got the tier 3. This time they're probably going to look to get the ranged Raxes, or at least try to force some buybacks of the Clockwork, who does have it.
Yeah. With the Wolf as well as the Vengeful Spirit, or this Phantom Assassin is critting for over 1,000, and that's pretty ridiculous. As long as she doesn't crit herself on a Blade Mail, she'll be just fine unless she has the BKB, in which case that's a moot point. But Mystico, I think he's the MVP for this game. If not, are able to secure out this win. It's going to be a lot off of these defensive plays from Vengeful Spirit. They're going to tag Smash, but they can't jump into that. Now they are going to, with the Titan to Ravage on everybody, and on the backlines, they jump into Masoku. Masoku's going to be focused down, so there's a swap to keep him alive for now, but Smash is being focused down with Waveform over the top of the Ethereal Blade Shotgun. It's going to be enough, and now they hold Iwo in place near the wards. Iwo's being focused down, but now BKB turns, looking for a crit, not going to find it on Nigui, but Vestius not going to be so lucky. One, he's needing more, now just going to TP straight out with the remainder of his BKB timing. He'll be able to make it out alive as the Chen and Brewmaster are the ones falling. Now the Centaur, as Leposa notches himself a double kill, and we might be seeing another just ridiculous Morphling game, as they're just not able to focus him down. 4 staff away from the Vengeful Spirit. She'll keep herself alive, but at a very hefty cost. 1 for 3 off of a beautiful Ravage going in from the Tidehunter.
There are only four 4-staffs in this game. It feels like there's like 6, because whenever anyone jumps into anything, they always get a 4-staff out. Like, seriously, it feels like everyone and their mom has a 4-staff in this game, but really it's going to benefit the Houses Down so much because the Phantom Assassin can't actually connect to anything. She got hexed up and disabled before she could actually get her BKB off, and once you have a BKB assassin with no BKB up, you're not going to be doing that much damage because she got hexed up near the Serpent Wards, and she ultimately did survive, which is all well and good. But if she's unable to actually contribute to the fights after that Ravage, then Phantom Assassin's pretty much a dead hero. However, here's 2 very easy kills for Iwo and Misko. They're going to miss all their skills, though. Dodged by the leap, and now the 4-staff up to the high ground for Mirana. And now Clockwork going to hook shot in. Smash is going to finish off the Mirana up on the high ground as Iwo does pop the BKB. 4-staff out from Jubilu, who gets swapped out of it. Now 4-staff back down from Misko, and Jubilu's going to get crit 13-18. That'll do it. That's 2 kills going the way of Not Today. BKB charge being used, but totally worth it once again.
Yeah. Again, Vengeful Spirit, great plays. Canceling that TP worked out wonderfully for them. 4 staffs, it does feel like everybody has one, as now they find the Tidehunter. It's just a Chen in his army here, but now the Centaur's jumping in to cancel the TP, and Yuka, his faith is going to be tested as well, as he's going to eat a double edge to the face, and Yuka, he's tanking with the maxed out Kraken Shield. The Hadouken is going to miss from our Satyr creep, but I think slowly but surely they'll chase him down. No TP, he's just trying to delay as much time as possible. He's going to blink towards the right, and Centaur, Shockwave from the Satyr this time is going to be on the mark, so well played by the Chen. They'll be able to secure themselves a kill on the Tidehunter.
Well, and Phantom Assassin with the Battle Fury is farming up pretty swiftly. She has the Battle Fury going to town and going to give her a Black King bar as well as a Helm of the Dominator. Still no tools to actually keep her stuck to her target, so I would say an Abyssal Blade is probably going to be a pickup that she wants to pick up sooner rather than later, or at least a Basher. Like, Basher's fine, no need to Abyssal it just yet, but she needs more stuff to stick to her targets, because right now she's just getting kited day in and day out between the cogs, between leaps, between 4-staffs. Everything is making Iwo's life so difficult, and despite that, he does have still a very good score. But it'll make his game so much easier once he gets something like a Basher, or hell, if he really wants to, an Eye of Scotty or something like that. But really, that's the biggest weakness for Not Today right now, because the Vengeful Spirit's playing this game so very well. She's keeping Iwo alive when she needs to, but if Iwo can't do damage, then Phantom Assassin, is not going to be able to live up to the assassin part of her name, and then she's just a phantom, and no one wants that.
Yeah, fair enough. As Morphling, he's staying alive and doing the damage in these team fights. He's not deathless. He has actually fallen as they find the Chen as well as the Centaur. The Cogs are going to bounce back the Centaur. He pops the pipe, and now the Ravage committed for this one. They're going to catch out too, and now they jump in with the Mirana. They're looking for the Centaur. He's going to drop the ultimate, but the Force Staff forward. They're going to blink clap onto Jubilee. Jubilee is going to be the one that caught out. Instead, as the Dire come in droves, they are going to use the split for this, and they're chasing with the Wind Panda, looking for anything throw up in the air. That is a Morphling replicate. They're not going to go for that, and instead find the real Mirana. Real Mirana is going to be purged down back to the ground as they look for the Boulder Toss. Boulder Toss is going to be disjointed by the leap away towards the side shop, and Gooey, they will get vision. Do they have a way to cancel that? They do have the swap. Now Force Staff away. Force Staff forward. They're going to get the Magic Missile. Now the clap. So many damn Force Staffs.
What the hell is going on? That was like a Force Staff. No, a swap into a Force Staff, and then Phantom Assassin cleans up Shadow Shaman. But swap into a Force Staff, into a leap away, into a blink Force Staff. It was like, seriously, I think everyone has enough mobility items. I think it's time to get some damage because people are living for too damn long in this game. Regardless, it is going to be Not Today taking yet another one fight. The gold earned is no longer in favor of the House is Down. Experience earned now firmly in favor of Not Today. And their Phantom Assassin is stacked as all hell. They're going to rotate up to the top lane first, and they will take down this tier 2 tower with relative ease. Still the Morphling, though he is very farmed, I just feel like Leposa hasn't had an impact in this game that a Morphling with this much farm should really have.
Fair enough. They've put pretty much all of their farm into this Morphling, and it's just not working out. This Phantom Assassin now does have the Basher, and she'll be able to stick onto targets a lot more effectively. That's going to change when Morphling has his Eye of Scotty. It's going to be annoying for the Phantom Assassin to deal with, as just that slow is going to be very useful for kiting around. But if she does get a Bash on the first couple of hits of the Phantom Strike, it doesn't matter. And if she gets a crit, even more so. It's a lot of RNG for Ewo to deal with, but either one of those procs going off is going to equal a kill on any of the heroes, with the exception of the Morphling and potentially the Tide.
Well, Phantom Assassin still working with the Blur is going to be a pretty large nuisance for the Morphling, because though he can shotgun her down pretty low, he can't actually get a kill unless he has that True Strike from MKB, and that's a very, very far away from the Morphling. So Ewo's going to be pretty comfortable in this game, given his current state. And now they're going to go for Roshan. It's going to be a little bit challenging since the Houses Down are literally right outside this Roshan pit, but they're going to go for it nonetheless. Still a lot of damage coming out from Misko with the maxed out aura, the Howl, as well as the Medallion, and that's going to be yet another Roshan. Brewmaster picking it up. And is there cheese? Yes, cheese on the Phantom Assassin. I thought they were going to snub the Phantom Assassin, but she gets something in the end, and cheese is probably going to be a little bit better for her, in fact, as Smash is now guaranteed a split in a fight, and that's Aghanim now, so no amount of chain stun is going to lock this down.
Yep, and Phantom Assassin with the cheese, generally she can survive pretty long in the team fights with the BKB, as well as the lifesteal coming out from the Helm. She's pretty darn tanky. She has some decent aura as well, with the auras coming out from the rest of her team. Didn't actually check if anybody has a Vlad's, and they do now on the Chen. I love this pickup, and now they're going to commit to the mid lane of Barracks. Shadow Shaman currently split pushing up top, but they need to fight into this. The Tidehunter is a little bit far away, waiting for Jubilee to jump first until Yuka actually shows his face. The Wild Wing Ripper is going to drop a Tornado to just be a nuisance. At this point in the game, it's not that significant, but they need to do something sooner rather than later. They're going to get a tier 3, and actually potentially the Racks up top. They are going to wait for him, go into Ewo. The nice defensive swap is not going to save him, and he's going to die, not able to get the cheese off in time, and they need to just get the heck out of dodge as Yuka jumps in, gush onto the Chen. That's going to be a one fight there, and they also get the melee Barracks up top. That's huge. The fight's still going on as they focus down Mihawk, who's shackled up. That's going to be 3 kills. I don't think it's going to mean any more, but huge win for THD. I didn't expect it to go down like that, but the Phantom Assassin, maybe they should have given her the Aegis instead of the Brewmaster. Brewmaster's actually going to lose his Aegis up top to creeps.
No, it was one Serpent Ward that he didn't kill, and it killed him. This might be like the most 322 I've ever seen. Phantom Assassin got obliterated. She got initiated on, and she was burst down with the shotgun. She got swapped out, but I think that clearly didn't do enough. And Smash, though he does still have the split, without the Phantom Assassin, they actually can't fight this anymore, and that's a Rax going the way of the House is Down. Not today. They split their focus between melee and range in the middle lane, so they get neither, and now they're going to lose a tier 3 tower. This game just got so much easier for the House is Down off of that series of plays. I don't know why Not Today keeps sticking around after sending the Brewmaster back. It's like, hey, we're going to send back our largest source of team fight damage. Now we're going to slowly try to fall back and hope you don't punish us. That's just not going to cut it, Not Today. It's not a good plan, so they have to be really careful about who they send back to defend the base. It doesn't have to be the Brewmaster. especially since Brewmaster is going to have some troubles versus Serpent Wards, clearly. But after that, the house is down. They're going to be the ones to sneak this set of Raxes, and Shadow Shaman with Aghanim Scepter providing some serious value.
Yeah, I would say so. This game just got flipped completely on its head. If you look at the graphs, the net worth, there hasn't been a significant lead for either side, and that's not going to change now. But the biggest change is in the experience graph. What once was a 10,000 experience lead for Not Today is now down to 4,000, and still going in the favor of THD as we speak. It doesn't matter anymore, really, as we are starting to hit that late game scenario. If they're able to focus on the Phantom Assassin and the Morphling before the fight begins, that's the team fight that's going to go in the favor of that respective team. But yeah, they haven't been able to do that. The Phantom Assassin goes in alone where the Brewmaster just kind of backs off with the Aegis. I would have expected the Brewmaster to just kind of go into the team fight, but now they're forced to just play so defensively. As now the default pushing for the lane is going to be in the favor of those who jump a center ultimate looking for the Shadow Shaman. They're going to find themselves Shadow Shaman. Vestius is going to hex up the one, but he is going to be brought down by the Phantom Assassin. He's forced to BKB after Stormboards are down on the ground looking for Gui. There's no detection though, and now the hookshot into Ewo. Ewo is going to be dropped down so quickly. Leposa blows him up. Now with the Ravage, they're going to find themselves a very convincing team fight. The split does come through, and now with the Aghanim Scepter, it's doing a decent amount of damage, but they're just focusing on these Brewlings. The Miz is going to keep the Wind One alive as the Phantom Assassin buys back and wants back into this fight, but she's too far away, and there's no tower to TP to. They can't do anything. The Phantom Assassin replicated is still standing strong, and well, Brewling is going to respawn here. They do find the Storm Brewling. He's still decently healthy. He does have the Aghanims as well to jump, but now he's caught between too many heroes, especially if Misoku is going to get arrowed. Defensive swap is going to keep Misoku alive for a little bit longer, but the waveform over is going to be too much for him to handle. As now Mihawk goes sceptered up, will save him from Leposa's onslaught of damage because he's already used the Ethereal Blade, but now is going to fall. Phantom Assassin can't get back in, 4 steps away, but the long range hook shot from Jubilee going to snag onto Mystico. Mystico's still going to survive. Arrow's going to tag a creep, and they are going to live for now. The Stifling Dagger is going to stifle their retreat, but now they're going to find themselves Mystico. That all said and done was a 4+ buyback for nothing trade in the favor of THD. They lost absolutely nothing, and now they're going to lose themselves a ranged barracks on top of it. The Morphling doesn't care. Buyback from the Chen, what's that going to do? He doesn't have Hand of God. He has the Aura, which is nice for the Phantom Assassin, but THD, I think they've almost done it. This isn't over. I think Not Today have one good fight left into him, but oh, not if they get caught out one by one as Misoku's going to get blown up. He gets a mech off, and he's going to survive a little bit longer, but the melee barracks are already down.
Just chain stun on Phantom Assassin. That's what the name of the game is all about. Hookshot into burst damage from Leposa. Now going to use just the Ethereal Blade to kill off the Chen. Getting hit pretty hard by that Stifling Dagger, which does end up critting, but Not Today. They're now 1.5 sets of Raxes down compared to the houses down. It looked so great for them. It seemed like the game was almost in the bag when they were pushing the high ground consecutively. Now Leposa just going to 1v2 casually. He doesn't have any MKB or anything like that, but he does actually force the Stampede out from the houses down, and Smash wants more. There's the Drunken Haze onto Leposa, but I don't think Smash could actually do this. Here comes Ewo. Do they have any True Sight? Please tell me you guys have True Sight. If you don't have True Sight, this could be really awkward. Well, they see him. They're still hitting on him, and now he's going to waveform out. Still the Morphling lives, although with a split damage. Here comes Jubilee, is going to set up Cog onto Ewo. Needs to use the cheese now, or else he's probably not going to get another opportunity. He's going to jump forward, try to kill off Leposa, who's still alive after the fight. There's no damage, and he's going to waveform out, find a haster, and book it. He's going to survive, although, no, it's going to be a crit to kill him off. Never mind. Now Ewo going to turn around, try to go for Yuka. Smash is going to blink out. He's going to get hexed up by Vestius. Still Ewo's in the back of this fight. Will kill off the Tidehunter. Swap out from Smash is going to keep him alive as Ewo still going to town into everyone. He's going to jump forward for Gui. 3 slashes to kill him off. And Vestius will survive barely. It's going to be a triple kill for Ewo. And really, Not Today. They're still fighting. However, they have lost their top Raxes as well. The house is down. They're down the Morphling for another minute, but he has buyback. So if the Not Today side want to go for mid lane push, which they probably should want to go for, it's going to be up by a buyback. Regardless, they have to do it. They don't have any alternative.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's time for Phantom Assassin to buy that Abyssal Blade and go down mid, because despite having some decent wave clear, especially with the Battle Fury PA, they can push against these mega creeps for quite some time, but the economy is just not going to be in their favor. You have a Mirana that's now sitting on a, oh no, she sold it. I was excited to talk about that item. And that explains why I didn't see it last fight. She bought herself a Heaven's Halberd, but then sold it in favor of the Diffusal Blade. Diffusal, I guess, is nice up against the Ghost Scepter on the Centaur Warner, and eventually the Sheep Stick, if that's going to come out from anybody. But I really think that Heaven's Halberd would have done a lot more work, as Phantom Assassin wasn't working with the BKB through the rest of that game, or rest of that fight. I think she might have not been able to kill off that Morphling had they had that item. Either way, Diffusal Blade's still okay. Although I'm not as psyched about it as the Heaven's Halberd. Hopefully that's next time for Mirana. Eventually we'll see that. But yeah, smoke coming out from Not Today, potentially looking for a pick-off, but it's just Mystico that's roaming around smoke. They're not going to be able to find anything, but a double damage room for your PA, that is something. Do they have any bottles on their team? They do not. Honestly, it's probably worth buying the bottles so that you can save this for the fight, because that's ridiculously huge. But no, they're just going to pick it up. I wish they bought a bottle. Either way, Iwo going to farm himself some Ancients and wait for the Roshan that is going to spawn in 8 seconds. Those lucky ducks. That is almost the fastest Roshan timer you can see.
Yeah, and Roshan is going to pop up with this blue ticket of victory of double damage rune. This Roshan is not going to last very long. I think it's about time to give Iwo the Aegis. However, Yuka, looking for a Ravage in, is going to not use it, as the split is going to be used prematurely before the fight really happens. With the Earth Panda going to get bashed by Roshan. The Serpent Wards are deployed in exchange for the split, but now Not Today. Crucially, they still have the BKB on the Phantom Assassin. However, double damage is running thin. And, well, Clockwork's looking for hookshot in. Aegis is now up on Iwo as Jubilu does jump in, although he force staffs himself back out. Smash off to the side is going to be just fine as well. Everyone's still alive. Swap back onto Gui, though. He will leap out, and Yuka also going to get stunned, unable to Ravage just yet. You will now with the BKB. Going to chase everyone down. Who's he going to go for? It's going to be Leposa. First hit bash, and it won't be enough to kill off the Morphling, but does have support coming in. The Aegis on the Iwo is not going to be used just yet, but Smash does get shackled by Vestius, but it's going to be a Ravage from Yuka. Going to catch all four and also pop the Aegis of the Phantom Assassin. Mihawk Smash going to try to kill off Yuka, whereas Chen just trying to poke at the enemies while keeping himself alive. Mihawk Smash going to jump forward, trying to go for the post of the damage. Isn't going to be off his waveforms. Down to the Roshan pit, tries to teleport out as well. No stuns to drop that, and he will secure himself an escape route out. But Jubilu not going to be as lucky. Force staffs out of his cogs. He does use the cheese. Was that a cheese stolen by Jubilu? It seems like it was. Regardless, it will be his death. And now, Not Today. They're only facing down 2 heroes. This is a huge opportunity for them. They use the Aegis, but now it's their chance to take Raxes. This game, it's not over yet. It ain't over till it's over.
It's not over till it's over. Iwo losing his Aegis to the Ravage. It's a slight win for THD in that respect, but without Ravage and without the Clockwork available for 30 seconds, it's quite a big window for them to work with. Although, it doesn't seem like it's enough. Their lanes aren't pushed out in a situation where they can actually capitalize off of it, but Not Today still have plenty of fight left. I don't see them taking another convincing fight unless they either find a pickoff first or they wait for Roshan. So that's kind of the plan for Not Today. Just wait it out. Iwo currently farming up some neutrals. That's fine. They also lost a courier in the midst of that. It was an Ogre Club, I assume, for our Vengeful Spirit. Is Iwo going to poke his face in the lane? Those are some illusions. But yeah, the Morphling not having an MKB is really hurting him in these team fights. As the Phantom Assassin dodged at least 3 attacks in a row from the Morphling, and usually that's ridiculous, but it's not that bad when you're talking about a 50% evasion chance. You just can't focus her down very effectively. Leposa needs that as his next item.
Yeah, if it's anything but an MKB, I would say that's just the wrong item choice. And he could get away with that if maybe the Mirana had a Heaven's Halberd. They could just lock the Phantom Assassin down so that she's doing no damage, and then, you know, focus everyone else on the Not Today side. Either way, it would be nice, but, oh, unfortunately, Shadow Shaman, your replicate is stuck. They need a Force Staff here. Bring it in, stat. Mirana is going to rush forward, Force Staff the illusion out, and that's going to be that. And Leposa's now pretty much at 100% secure unless he gets first hit bashed. Oh, he's going to be spotted out moving into the corner, but Iwo is not going to go in on this one. Still, this Phantom Assassin has quite a bit of gold. However, she's losing a fight versus illusions. She needs bigger items. She's going to pop a BKB. It's only a 4 seconds, so it's not really going to be entirely relevant. In the meantime, top side, they're going to go for Yuka, and I don't think this Tidehunter is going to escape. He's going to be clapped, and he will be brought down. So now a lot of momentum down top lane. However, Not Today. They're going to get their base pushed down bottom. This is an Aghanim, Scepter, Shadow Shaman, Serpent Wards that are level 3 right now, and this is going to be a very dead tower very quickly. And with no split, I don't know if Not Today can actually defend this, especially with hookshot onto Iwo. He gets swapped out immediately and force staffed out. The shotgun, though, will kill out the Phantom Assassin. Does she have buyback? She does, and she's forced to use it. Misko now going to get shackled up. Mihawk looking for a stomp, won't find it, but the Rax is taking a lot of fire from these Serpent Wards. They have to clean these Serpent Wards up, or else the Raxes are going to fall. Looks like they will be successful in their defense. However, it's at the cost of a buyback from Iwo. The Raxes are going to survive for now, as they do Moonlight Shadow and try to disengage from this fight. The house is down, should all make it out alive. Jubilu going to set up a nice wall of cogs, preventing the Brewmaster from chasing, and everyone else is going to escape. Not Today. They're slowly running out of space, and the house is down. They very comfortably just walked in, brought the Raxes down very low, didn't kill them off, But I think in a little bit they could do the exact same thing, because next time the Phantom Assassin won't have a buyback.
And this time, Mihawk might be dead. He drops the Centaur ultimate, and it's going to save him for a little bit longer before Staff. One more bop from the Clockwork will secure that one, and that's a teamfight win for them. But Smash, if they find Jubilee, this could be big. And now they're going to swap him back into red for everybody. But now the hook shot over to the Morphling is going to secure his retreat as they try to look for him more. But Mystico doesn't have enough mana. They're going to blink forward, clapping the Stifling Dagger. And now the crits coming out from Ewo. They're not going to be enough, but the bash is there. Now the illusions are back inbound. They buy back on their Centaur. I'm not sure this is a big opening as they were hoping it was, but Gui got out inside the base. The double edge is enough damage. He does not have a leap available. He is going to go back towards the base. Force Staff forward, looking for a TP away potentially. It's still on cooldown for 3 seconds. Magic Missile is good. That one, not a chance. But yeah, in that last push coming out from THD, I wish they would have decided which Rex they wanted to go for, because Morphling spawned his illusions and went for the range barracks and dropped it very low. If they focused the range barracks, it would have fallen. If they focused the melee barracks with those illusions as well as the supports, it would have fallen as well. They just needed to pick and choose which one instead of dividing their attention. But now with the refresher on their Tidehunter, it's not going to matter that much. They can just rinse and repeat, go again for the next fight. Morphling, he'll probably have at least a Demon Edge, if not the completed Monkey King bar. So evasion on your Phantom Assassin isn't going to save you, and this Phantom Assassin can't do anything. They keep her alive for a decent amount, but 4 seconds on her BKB is not enough, and since she was forced to buy back, no secondary BKB is going to be available either. Morphling instead goes for Boots of Travel as his next item. It's going to be nice for split pushing purposes, but I think he just goes straight for the MKB, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why you should get Boots of Travel over MKB. Really, not today. They're on their deathbed. They're facing down 2 Ravages, and last fight in that bottom lane, they lost the fight even though there were no Ravages being committed because Tidehunter was dead, got ganked up on top. If they are fighting into 2 Ravages, I don't see them able to escape that unless Phantom Assassin buys a refreshed BKB or if they get a substantial pick off beforehand. Ideally the Morphling, but even if they do pick off the Morphling, buyback into Boots of Travels represents a pretty nice contingency plan for the houses down, assuming they do get picked off. So, oh man, we're gonna have pauses for days. Apparently the houses down are not aware of what's going on, but regardless, this is going to give us a little bit of a chance to look at some items. Key items picked up. Well, it's Boots of Travels on the Morphling instead of an MKB. Don't like that. I don't really think the Diffusal Blade has been used a single time. I'm not sure, but Vestius with the Shadow Shaman Aghanim wards, those are certainly coming in handy, and Yuka with the Refresher Orb is also going to be incredibly useful. On the Not Today side, Vengeful Spirits looking for an Aghanim Scepter is very far away from that, has actually gone for Hood of Defiance instead, just to survive. Smash with an Ultimate Orb and Assault Cuirass is all well and good, but Chen at this point is, pretty much a dead hero. He's just there for auras and a little bit of healing, but that's about it. I don't know if Not Today have enough gas in the tank to take this, because Leposa is almost 6-slotted, and they are very close to breaking down the last set of racks that Not Today have.
Well, actually, Mystico is very close to his Aghanim Scepter because he has 2 components on the Courier. It's going to be nice to constantly have those defensive swaps, but now they're going to bump into the hero that they really can't bump into in Leposa. They're going to Abyssal him down. Will they have enough lockdown? He's going to wait for him, then go away. That's smoke down. BKB on your Phantom Assassin. It is 4 seconds, so back in 50 seconds. Not the biggest loss of all, but still, they couldn't kill that Morphling. That wasn't the hero that they were hoping to find. Any other hero would have been just straight up dead.
Yeah, Morphling getting out of there, though, by the skin of his teeth. I mean, that was a very, very close engagement there. Phantom Assassin was a little bit luckier in her crits or her stuns or something like that, then Morphling probably would have gone down, but really your chain stun has to be absolutely perfect if you're going to kill a Morphling with a Replicate, because Replicate, I'm pretty sure, is instant cast, and if it's not completely instant, then it's pretty much instant, so killing him off requires coordination like no other, and that's just really, really hard to do if you're a Phantom Assassin, relying on RNG in order to both do your damage and lock down your opponents. Roshan's still not going to be respawned just yet, not today. Roshan is the only way I see them realistically taking a fight, because Phantom Assassin clearly needs 2 lives in order to survive and take a team fight at all. So they need this Roshan so badly, and the house is down. They seem to know about this. They're all smoked up, and they're moving straight north into the Roshan pit, or towards the Roshan pit rather. And the Morphling has put a lot of pressure up on top lane, so that's pushing towards Not Today, and he's gonna put pressure down on bottom lane as well. I don't know if Not Today could actually go for this, because mid lane and top lane are pushing just so quickly. I mean, Centaur is dealing with that a little bit, but still smoke up from the houses down. I don't think they're gonna find anyone. They're actually just looping around each other.
Let's see. If they get any vision on these lanes, they might be able to find a jump. Especially if they can peel away Masoku or Mystico, it could be pretty easy. They're going to throw a flare, but it doesn't catch any vision. So the smoke is going to be, I don't know, more or less useless, but it doesn't really matter. Morphling has enough money to get his full 6-slotted build, and I think you just at least pick up the Demon Edge, if not more, as they hookshot in the mid, as Iwo going to get caught out, but he does have the BKB, not going to be forced to use his split goes on the backlines, but doesn't catch anybody out. Oh, not sure if that's actually going to mean anything. There's a new BKB on the Phantom Assassin. This is the time for them to fight, but without split, it's going to be very hard.
That's split used for absolutely nothing used on the houses down. They have a replicate up on Morphling soon enough, which is actually going to be a lot more relevant than it ordinarily is. If you could get a clone of the Phantom Assassin, she's going to be actually not hitting very hard, so never mind. But anyway, any illusion that you could get at this point is going to be huge as they do pipe up, the house is down, looking to take a fight outside their base. This is going to be possibly the last fight of the game as Mihawk does jump in for a stun to Laposa, but the damage isn't enough right now. Yuka looking for a ravaged opportunity as the fresh BKB from Iwo will completely obliterate the Miran. Now trying to go for Laposa, but it's going to be the Raxus in trouble because Vestius has dropped the wards there. The wards will be cleaned up very swiftly as in the meantime, Iwo going to get swapped out for dropping down very low. There's Ravage number 1. Ravage number 2 will kill off Iwo. There's no buyback on the PA, and I think that just might be the end of it unless these 4 not heroes can somehow make this fight happen. They're all caught in the cogs, however, and that's going to be the death of Smash, instantly buying back Misko. Going to swap out Mihawk, and he will survive for a little while longer, but the Raxus are going to be focused. This is going to be Mega Creeps, and they cannot defend against Mega Creeps. Close with double kill, now going to go for Smash. Doesn't have that true hit just yet, but Smash is going to be trying to do his best, and Misko is going to do his best as well, but this game is all over. There's no way that Not Today are going to come back. It's over.
More or less, they're not going to call GG because, well, there you go. They are going to call GG. It wouldn't have actually mattered as the base would fall very quickly. Now Smash, last-ditch effort to try to get a kill before it ends, and now he's going to split up. And there we go. The Ancient is going to fall. I think that's the series, the second one. So there you have it. It's going to be 1-1. Both of these teams taking a game off each other, but that is only a 2-game series. We're going to have another one featuring Not Today, and this time they are going to be facing up against Isriz. So we'll be seeing that right after this. The lobby should be hosted by Mike Loris very soon.
Alright guys, so that's the end of this set. As Grandis said, there is more Dota coming your way, so don't go anywhere. We're going to see if Not Today can perform a little bit better in the next game than they did in this one. Currently, what we've seen of Not Today, they are 3-1, which is not too terrible. And I don't know what Osiris are. I'm pretty sure they're still playing or not ready to play just yet or whatever. But be sure to hit that follow button. And aside from that, there is going to be more Dota coming up soon. So we'll see you in the next game, guys.